Hey guys, welcome back. I am excited because today the topic is now that you paid off debt, like what do you do next? And I have the perfect guest. Everybody, please welcome Q from Q Makes It Happen. Hi, Q.
How's it going, Debbie? I'm
Hi.
glad we can meet here today. I've been excited and waiting on this for it's been a few days already, so I'm just like glad it's finally here so we can get the info out that the people need.
I've been wanting to cover the topic for so long, and when I saw your last few videos, I'm like, I have to reach out to you because I'm like, you're the perfect person to talk about this. And Jan's already on. Here a second. She says
Hey
hi.
Jan?
Can you see the comments if I don't click on them? Like if right now, can you comment or no?
No.
No? Okay, then I'll click on them so you can see them. Okay, great.
Okay.
So before we get started, do you want to tell everyone about your channel?
So the channel was a couple years old now, maybe 2 years and 3 months, and it literally started from me just wanting to hold myself accountable. I follow this guy named Gary V. A lot of people may know Gary Vaynerchuk, and one thing he said was to document your journey, and it holds you accountable when you can put something on video or write something down, and then you go back 6 months later to a year later, you can see the progress you made. So that's literally how my channel started, and I just wanted to document my finance journey. So that's 2.5 years just about now, and it's getting better and better. I'm having a lot more fun with it now.
It's funny. I look back at my first video, like I was so away from the camera. I was just talking to about that, and now I'm all like, "Hi, let's talk." You just get more comfortable.
Yeah, we all start somewhere.
Absolutely, absolutely. I feel like I was like in my shell, like a mile from the camera the first time. Now I'm all like about it. But I am so captivated by all of your content. It's so like I was just telling you, smart the way that you outline things, and you have an knack for it. Like you really do.
I appreciate that. It's
Yeah.
definitely been a work in progress. My first couple videos are laughable, but they're out there, so I leave them up so people can see the progress.
Everyone says like just grab the camera and get started. It's like no, it's a little harder than that. You need a little bit of a comfort level to do that. Yeah, absolutely. Oh, here we have some people saying hi. Here a second.
We
Is
got Granny Pepper in the building. Granny
yes.
Pepper supports me heavy, man. I appreciate you. Thanks
Oh,
for
that's nice.
joining.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, and Granny Pepper's here too. Oh my goodness. Okay, so let's get started. So my first question now, I'm going to do that. This is the first time I'm ever doing like an interview talking about a topic because I can't wait to like hear your answers to these questions. So my first question is, how much debt did you have when you first started like realizing you wanted to tackle it?
So I had $33,000 approximately. So it was 32K and some change, but overall it came out to about 33,000, and I didn't even know it was that much until I literally started, because I was running from it basically. I was trying to hide from it, and in order for you to know what you need to pay back, you got to do your research. So I just went and figured all that out, and it came out to be 33,000, and that kind of blew me away.
Did you ever think to yourself, like when you first sat down and really started looking at it and you were at 33,000 at that moment, did you ever think to yourself, how much was it like when you were making like minimum payments or before you actually sat down to try to tackle it?
I didn't. I could care less about my debt. If I'm being
Mhm.
honest, I really hid from it. I knew I had it, but I wasn't focused on it, if that makes sense. I was kind of like hiding my head in the sand. I was pulling an ostrich, and I just kept living life as if it would go away. And
Mhm.
it wasn't until I moved out of my dad's house that's when I realized, like, okay, it's time to become an adult. And
Mhm.
with the amount of income I had versus what I needed to pay living on my own, that's when I knew I needed to take care of that, because I wasn't going to survive if I didn't.
Wow. Wow. Glad that you did. When people ask me like how much debt we had when we started paying things off, I'm like, it took a while to have the nerve to sit down and actually look at the figures. Like, people talk about, you see people all the time or on podcasts or on YouTube saying like, oh, I paid off all this money. But it takes a lot of guts to sit down and actually like look at your figures. So that's why I worded it that way. For me, we paid off $48,000 in 2 years, but that was reducing our expenses like like so much. Like we cut out so much, and it was so difficult to do it, but we wanted to just tackle it because we didn't want to like have years and years of having to pay this off, and the interest and everything else. We're just, we felt like we were suffocating. So that's why I wanted it, because before that, I have no idea how much we had before we actually
Yeah,
settled, because
it's
we
a
made the
scary
minimum
thing
payment.
because yeah, it's a really scary thing because in your gut you already know like I need to pay this back because debt is debt no matter what. If you borrow money, you need to pay it back. That's just the name of the game. And
Mhm.
majority of people are afraid of like really getting in there because they may not be ready to pay it back. But it's just a matter of facing your fears is all it
Mhm.
is.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, I agree with you. I'm Hispanic, and I always joke around that, I'm the first generation born here, and I'm the first generation in my family to have credit card debt.
Nice, nice. I never knew
Yeah,
that.
like, I'm like, lovely. What kind of debt was it that you had, if you don't mind me asking?
So I had student loan debt, which was about 28,000. I had personal loans that I got from a friend, which was about 500. I had medical debt. I had a bank charge off, and then I had a car payment. And the funny part about the car debt is it was only $1,000. So when I started my journey, I didn't have a bank account and I didn't have a car. So my girlfriend's mom sold me her old car for $1,000, and she put me on a payment plan, $100 per month for 10 months.
Mhm.
And that's how I was able to pay the car off. So I
Wow,
spent $100 a month for a 2000 Buick LeSabre that I still drive to this day.
and you're probably gonna drive it down, right?
I'm gonna drive that thing till it can't drive no more. I bought it in 2016. I paid $1,000 for it, and I've only put about 1,600 into it. So 2,600 overall, and it
Mhm.
still spends like a top. It's got 169,000 miles on it.
Wow, like I got stuck having to buy a new car because I was pregnant with my little one. Hurricane
Hmm.
Sandy had just happened, and so everybody was trying to get rid of all the car that had flood damage, and they covered it up really nice. So people were buying these certified used cars from these dealers, and then it has rust on the inside, and there's nothing you can do, and all that money you had thrown out the window. So I had to get a new car, and I regretted it. It was like one of those things, like, you have to do it because I'm able to be able to drive my kids safely. But it was like one of those things, like, I know I'm messing up. I know I'm messing up right now in doing this. And that was half of our debt, was my dump truck. And I'm gonna
Yeah,
run that thing. I'm gonna run it to the ground. I even have a sinking fund for like oil repair, because every time my husband takes it in, with an SUV, it's like, new tires or this or rotating and blah blah. And never an oil change. They say an oil change appointment. I'm just like, so have a side
yeah.
account, throw a little bit of money in, because I'm gonna run that thing to the ground. Hopefully, it lasts at least another 10 to 12 years. So
I think you can do it, and you definitely gotta keep the baby safe. So that's a
exactly,
plus. My
exactly. Yeah.
fiance, she tried to talk me into getting a new car not too long ago, and I was just like, yeah, I ain't ready for that yet. But we'll just drive your car. So we just drive her
Oh,
car, and I
mhm.
drive my car everywhere. But as far as transporting our baby, we take her car for that. I trust my
Yeah.
car still is nice, but you never
Mhm.
know. You
Yeah.
never
No,
know.
you never know. No, that's that. So that thing was what I needed. But I'm telling you, it was like a sinking feeling, and that was before we tackled our debt. It's a sinking feeling. I was like, I am making the biggest mistake right now, but I have to do it. So that was our debt, that dump truck out there. I'm like, I love it, but I hate it. Here we go. Oh, Monica's here. She says hi. Oh, and so is Kate. Hi,
Got
Kate.
Kate.
How are you
Hey, Kate. I
doing?
saw Kate a couple days ago in the comments of one of my videos. I love seeing her pop up.
Oh my gosh, she's smart. She really is. She's so smart. And it's so
She's
funny. I was talking to Jan, from Jan from New York City Saves Money, and she had me on her show yesterday, which she dropped today, and she couldn't wait to see our interview. And then Kate was another one that commented like, "You got cute. That's awesome." Like, yeah.
Jan. Jan is awesome, man. I love Jan. She keeps it so real, and she's always making me laugh.
Yeah, and the first time I met you was because you commented on my first live that I ever did with Jan. So then when I saw
Mm.
channel pop up, I was like, "That's a smart name. Q makes it happen. I gotta go check that out." And that was um. So So like, how did you go about paying off your debt? You have like a strategy, like anything that you used, or?
So literally the first thing, I'll give a little bit of backstory because I made a video on this before, but the only reason I got my finances in order was due to my now fiance, then girlfriend, yelling at me.
Congratulations.
Thank you. So we moved in together rather quick back in 2015 now, and I came up short on the rent for 2 months in a row. The first month she was like, "Okay, don't worry, I got you. Pay me next time." The second month I came up short. She wasn't having it. She was just like, "Look, I'm not about to keep covering you. I'm not your parent. If you don't get these finances in order, I can't do this." Like, and what stuck with me was the fact that I was being a burden to her and I wasn't being a man. Like, a man provides, a man protects, and I wasn't being able to provide, always going to her to get some help with the money. But that was something that forced me to grow up. And when she told me that, I instantly went and got a second job. So I started paying off my debt by Googling how to get out of debt, like everybody else, because I didn't even know. I just said how to get out of debt because I knew that was the main reason that I was broke. And when I Googled that, of course, everybody's favorite Uncle Dave popped up. And I just literally followed the debt snowball. And that's how I started. I made a budget and I just put whatever I could towards my debt and kept on being consistent while trying to increase my income simultaneously.
Wow. No, that's really smart. I wanted the snowball myself, but I had a credit card, one that my first credit card I ever got. I still kept it, because I thought it was being like and then when I actually sat down and looked at the numbers and we're gonna do the snowball because we also were following Dave. I realized that that credit card, the percentage rate, the interest over 20% on that one card. I was like, if I put that last, like, oh, like maybe like third from other than the cars. If I put that third from last, everything I'd be paying on the wouldn't trickle down because that one would just continue to increase and increase because of that. So I actually had to do the snowball, but I took that credit card and I put it on the top, and we like hit everything, kitchen, everything. Like I sold things, like we did everything we possibly could. And once we finally took 8 months to pay off that one card. And then once we did that, it was like a trickle effect, and it was so exciting.
Yeah.
So I
So it
the
definitely works.
snowballs. hmm
That
It's so
snowball
motivating, right?
definitely works. Yeah.
Yep, absolutely. But I figured I would have paid $1,000 more in interest if I wouldn't have taken that credit card and put it up. So it's like you never know. Like you always get that feeling, like, am I doing it right? Is there anything else I can do? Like, because we all are doing our best. But I was so glad that I paid off that credit card, and then like you said, the effect with the snowball, everything else went down. So yeah.
Yeah. That's the
hmm
average interest rate too, 20+% on credit card. You got to get those out your life.
In New Jersey, the highest rate is 3%. So I was like, I'm literally like I think it was I'm gonna say credit card was 21%. Maybe it was 22. I was almost got me like at the maximum, and I had that credit card for years. I never knew. I never knew until I sat down and actually looked at the numbers, like how much they were taking advantage of me.
Jesus
I
Christ.
I'm like I'm telling you, I could put that credit card through the shredder. Like, bye. How long did it take you to get out of debt once you started the plan?
So it took me 4 years exactly. So from 2016 to 2020 is when I paid it off. And like I said, it was 33,000. But when I started, I was only making $18,000 per year.
Wow.
Trying to live on my own, trying to have a girlfriend. Like I didn't think this through. I was just doing stuff back
Yeah.
then. Um, my wages was being garnished. I didn't have a bank account, didn't have a car, never made a budget in my life. And the reason why my wages was being garnished was because I never paid back my student loans. So my student loans actually went into default.
Oh wow.
So the crazy part is I only had $16,000 originally on my student loans, but the fact that I let them go into default and I never made one single payment on them for 6 years straight. I graduated college in 2010 and didn't make one single payment until 2016. So that $16,000 turned into 28,000. And that's the mistake that a lot of people make. And that killed me. Once my bank account started getting hit, they were taking about 15% out of every paycheck.
Wow.
They took my tax return 2 years in a row. The government don't play. The IRS don't play. So I mean, you either gonna pay it or you're just gonna keep getting your money taken. So
Mhm,
and then you
mhm.
still won't get ahead. But
Yep.
that's how long it took me. 4 years.
Wow. I'm a family law paralegal, but back in the day, I used to do bankruptcy law. The amount of people that I'd have come in with student loan debt or medicals, and back then, like I don't know if the laws have changed now, but back then, neither one or IRS debt, all three of them are not. So even if they went and they filed for bankruptcy, those loans would still follow you through because they're not dischargeable. That could have changed. It's been a few years, but as far as I know, they're still not dischargeable. Or IRS, they'll get you.
Yeah,
They'll get you one way
those
or another.
those stay with you. That's literally the
Mhm.
only debt, if I'm not mistaken. Student loan debts are the only one that you can't get rid of with bankruptcy, and that just
Mhm.
follow you. And even if you pass away, your heirs would just inherit that debt, and that's even sadder. So I definitely
Oh
couldn't
my
have
God,
that
that I
happen.
didn't know. Oh
Hmm.
wow. Gosh.
Yep.
So how did before I even go forward, like 4 years of like busting it to pay it all off. Like, how did you sell it? Did you do anything?
So I sold everything that I could.
Mhm.
I sold clothes, coats, shoes. I went to Facebook Marketplace, so I would flip certain things that I had in my house, old things that I didn't use, and I even started like eBay arbitrage aside from picking up a second job. So I had a part-time job, and I would work overtime. I would pick up extra shifts, like every chance I got, I would do that. And even at a certain point, I had 3 jobs at once,
Wow.
literally 3 W-2 jobs at one time. um Aside from doing side hustles, like my girl thinking I'm crazy, like, dude, why do you work so much? Are you really trying to pay off this debt? I'm like, yeah. She was like, well, I want to spend time. And I'm just like, well, I want to pay off this debt. Like, so that became an issue. But just asking for promotions, negotiating raises, everything I could. So between 2016 and 2020, my income increased from, like I said, 18K to now I'm making 65K, and I'm only working one job. So I did a lot
Wow.
of job hopping. I did a lot of job hopping. In
Mhm.
2019, I quit 3 jobs because I felt stagnant, and I, asked for raises, and I was just getting the same answer. We'll see. We'll see. I'll let you know. And I was just so fired up that I couldn't wait. And it turned out to be a really great thing, because you know how job hopping has a negative connotation to it. People say you want to stick with one.
Yeah.
It's a new day and age. Like, on average, people stay in a job 2 to 3 years, and if they're not satisfied or if they're not getting compensated properly, then they just move on. Like, there's so many
Mhm.
ways to make money now. You can't expect people to stick around if they're not treated fairly. So, job hopped, eBay side hustled, and I got out of that debt in 4 years.
Mhm. I'm at the job that I have now for 16 years. Before
Mhm.
that, I only lasted maybe like a year or two because that's exactly what it is. It's like if you're not being treated fairly and they're not willing to compensate you, especially when you go above and beyond. I'd have people that were like working in the same position as me, like much more than I was, and they're like, "What do you mean you're gonna quit?" Like, no, you stay, you stay. You have to show loyalty. I'm like, but if they're not treating me loyal, a year or two when I'm busting my butt for them and proving every day that like I show up, like I'm 110%, then that's what I did. When I landed in this job, I'm blessed. I work for my best friend, and they pay well for my industry. They pay well, and they're letting us work from home. But before then, you're absolutely 1,000% right. It's looked up, like down upon, but then people stay at a job to show when they're not being treated right.
Yeah, you
Mhm.
can definitely be loyal to a fault. My previous employer, I was working at a car dealership for 10 years. I
Wow.
was there for 10 years, and mind you, I did get a handful of raises. I got a handful of promotions, but
Mhm.
I hit that ceiling. Once I hit that ceiling, and I was trying like diligently, I'm trying to break through, and I
Mhm.
just couldn't go no further. And like you said, I was really giving them my all. I was being
Yeah.
extremely loyal. Everybody in the company loved me, but you can definitely be loyal to a fault. And when I left, I let them know why I was leaving. Like my daughter was just born, so that put even more of a fire under me. And when I left, probably 2 to 3 months later, they were trying to get me back and offering extra money and better positions. And I'm just like, when I was,
right?
yeah, when I was asking for it, y'all were being, y'all wasn't having it. And now
because
they
they
want me.
expected you to stay. That's what it is. They expect you to stay because they know like it's hard for you to find another job. So they count on that. They count on that. Mm-hmm. Did you end up going back? You didn't.
No. They don't have anything for me over there.
Yeah.
I love
sorry?
No, I said I love the company, love the people there, but you gotta do what's best for you at the end of the day, you and your family.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. I'm still in touch with some of the people that I used to work with many years ago, and they're barely making like a third of like made just jumping, and not jumping like a few days, like a few years, like 1.5, 2 years. It's like when you're not being treated right, time to go. Absolutely. You have to go for your family. The loyalty to a company that's not loyal to you. Peace.
Easy.
Mm-hmm. So so when you made your last payment, like going back to that, like what did you do?
So I did a last payment live stream. So when I started my YouTube channel documenting my debt-free journey, over the years, of course, you start building up a fan base or a subscribership and people who follow you and celebrate you. And that's what I did. On the last day, I did a last payment live stream. So everybody who's been supporting me over the years, they can watch me make that last payment and they can make the payment with me. So that's what I did. I literally screen recorded and did the live, and I went to my website, made the last payment. I bought myself a bottle of my favorite champagne. So I made the payment and I had the champagne live on my YouTube channel, and it was fun. It was a blast. We all celebrated, and oh my God, I finished that whole bottle that night and I just enjoyed it. I paid $70 for it, and I was unapologetic about it because I hadn't bought myself a lot of things throughout that process.
So when I was paying off debt, I was throwing everything at it, but I was taking just a tiny bit and putting it in a side account because I was like, the minute that we pay this off, like I'm doing something. So I kept putting in the side account, and I had enough to put a down deposit on a vacation at Disney. So my debt payment, I'll never forget, it's December 31st, 2018. And literally that August 2019, we were at Disney for a week. We had the best time. It was just knowing like by then I had the whole thing cash, like it paid cash, like did not put, I put on the credit card, paid it off at the end of the month, but did not incur debt for the vacation. I'm telling you, everything tasted better. like I am living rich, even though I'm not. Like it's like I tell people when they're so close, or like or they don't even get started, I'm like do it. Like it's a life changer, especially when you like kill it and you pay it off, and then finally you're like the topic of this conversation, like now what?
Yeah. So, a lot of pressure and stress from your shoulders. It's all gone, and that's the most important part. Just the peace of mind and the fact that it's in your rear view, and you don't have to worry about it anymore. And that was the biggest thing for me. So steak dinner, champagne, we did it that day.
that steak probably tasted the best steak of your life, right?
It was amazing. It was amazing.
Yeah. And it was funny because it was New Year's. So literally like we hit, like made the payment online, the balance went down to 0. I was bawling. Like my looking at me, he's like, Debbie, he's like, this is a great moment. I'm like, I'm so happy. Like we like 5 seconds later, we're like, Happy New Year. I'm like, God, yes, it's gonna be a great New Year. It really is, And
that's how you do it.
Oh my God, it was magical. My only regret channel is that I didn't start it when we started paying off debt. Like once we paid off debt, I said to my husband, like, we did it, and we're on 2 medium incomes. Like there's so many people out there, and I know a lot of them like drowning in debt, like, and a lot of it is student loan debt, like you said. And I said to him, I said, like, I want to start my channel. I want to try to help people, and so he was like, yeah, you should. I wish I would have started before. I never thought of it till after, because people like just so motivating to watch you go through the process, And we have some people here like Angel, like she's another motivator. She said you did awesome, earning more income. Yeah, it's
that's how,
and
yeah, that's how you speed up the process. That's how you speed up the process.
Yeah. Oh, here's Monica asking for promotions, increasing income. Awesome job. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Oh, they're all putting champagne emojis. Look at this.
when I made my first budget, I only had about $35 left over. Like after all of my payments back in 2016, it's like if you only have $35 left over and you put that towards that, that's not even covering the interest. So you're getting nowhere fast doing that. So the only other way is to make more money.
Make more money.
The best way you can.
Do like you said, you sell things, you do what you have to do. Like absolutely. Like when you're saying things, like I did too. It's like, no, we need to get this moving, you know? And then another thing too is when we paid off our last payment to our little one's daycare, because we both had to work full time, so we had to put her in daycare. When I made last payment, like I kept that automated payment, like so in my mind making it, but I was throwing it at the debt. Like that's another thing that's noticed too. Like anytime, like I would say that like anytime you have a payment that you have to make, as soon as that's paid off, like move it to the next one. Keep it going. Like don't let it sit in your account, because if you let it sit in your account, then you might be tempted to do something else instead. You know.
Yeah.
Here's here's Kate. Love listening to you. I can talk about debt and payment all day.
Seriously, it's a crazy thing. Jay, what's going on, man? Thank you for joining.
Yeah, thank you.
Jay's my boy.
Yeah. So now you made your last payment. Like, what was like your next goal? Like, what were you focusing on?
So after the last payment, I knew I was going to automatically start building my emergency fund, my 6-month emergency fund. But I just took a week not to do anything. Honestly, I didn't think about anything finance because of how hard I was going over the last 4 years. And I just sat there. I let my income come in, and matter of fact, it was a month. I let it come in to see what I was left with after a month. And I just took it all in. Like I said, wow, I don't owe anybody anything. All this extra money is my money now. And I just sit there and I stared at it like a weirdo. I looked at it in my account like, hey, this money don't have to go anywhere. I get to keep this, and all right. And then I started my emergency fund, but I didn't play around after that. I built up a 6-month emergency fund, $10,000, and a 5-month time frame.
Wow. Really?
I knocked that out and just kept it moving. But
that's awesome. That's awesome. No,
I gave myself a break.
Oh my gosh, no! To us, it was the opposite. Like now I'm spending money away for Disney, but everything else going right into the emergency fund. And I talk about it all the time on my channel. And you're engaged, so you know probably already. But like when you're now a couple, like you have to kind of compromise a little bit. Like I wanted to do the Dave Ramsey, like 3 to 6 months of for emergency fund, but my husband he works at the same office that I do in IT. And in his industry, it takes 8 months for him to find a new job with the same income. So, Deb, like, I know you want to do 3 to 6, but we need to bump it up to 8. I was like, I was so ready. I'm like, because we really have to. Like, please.
Like you just came out of that, and now you're going back in. That's why I took a month off.
Oh no, we literally were like, we know like the way that we did it, we have to be laser focused. You know, that's the way that I a lot of like. And so I was like, okay, so here we go. Just another 2 years to 2 years and 1 month. I was like so close. I was ready to say 2 years to pay off the debt, pay out to save up the emergency fund. But no, because you know, with all the expenses and everything we had still going on with the kids, even though we reduced everything as much as possible, it took us 2 years and 1 month to come up with our emergency. In January was the last little bit of money that I moved aside, and all of a sudden I was
you did that then. You did that. That's a long time. That's a long time. So I can only imagine what your overhead is. and your
Oh,
expenses with 3 kids too.
because yeah, and a mortgage, you know, and I'm just mortgage now, and we removed it from a 30-year, which we've been in this house for 8 years, so we had 22 years left. We reduced it to a 15-year. As of next month, we only have 15 years paid to the house, and I'm gonna kill it. I'm gonna throw everything at it. Like I'm getting rid of this mortgage way with 15 years because I'm not gonna be in my, you know, not, well, I'm not. I almost said how old I am. My husband's not gonna be. He's older than me. I'm not gonna be in his 60s, and we're gonna be paying off this house. Let's say that much.
Yeah, nah, it's time to relax at some point in time.
My birthday was just this past weekend, and I swear I'm going backwards. Like I'm reducing my age a lot. I'm like, oh, I'm in my 30s. Like
Celebrated
but
at 35.
I know when you hear like 30-year mortgage, it's like you think to yourself, how old am I gonna be if I just make these payments until I'm able to you know, pay off this house and have it actually be ours. So I was like, no, we need to refinance that. The rates are low. So we knocked 1.5% off of it, which is so great.
That's huge.
I know.
That's
So thank you. So now that you have this emergency fund set up and you're debt free, what was the next goal?
so. Of course, as you may know, across a journey that's so long, your goals are gonna continuously change. You may say you want one thing this year, then the next thing it'll change. So right now, I'm focused on becoming financially independent. I'm sure you're aware of the fire community, so I want to retire no later than the age of 40. And by
Oh,
doing that, I'm literally trying to make as much money as I can. Like on average, the last 4 years, my income has increased on an average of $13,000,
mhm,
and I'm trying to increase that even more, so that way, I can have more children because we do want to have more children,
mhm.
and I'll be able to be more present with my family and relax. Like I've been doing labor intensive jobs since I was 15 years old, and
Wow.
I'm tired.
So you're tired, but
I'm already tired.
you know
Yeah,
like what
at 30.
but you know what it's like to work hard for money, and that's a
Mhm.
concept sometimes is lost. In like I you know, like I do family law clients, and you know, and I would never talk bad about them, but sometimes I look like they don't have the hustle, like they don't have the mindset of thinking like I have to work hard. You know, like that's something I keep putting is like, I want you to do the best you can. You don't have to have a college degree if you don't want to go to college, but I want you to do the best you can to be something that you want to be in life, not be stuck at a job where that's not what you want to do your life. You know, like I want them to feel that fire, like you're saying, like, you know, like look how hard you've been working since you were 15, and look where you're now.
Yeah, and it takes
Hmm.
all that time, it takes all that effort and focus, and a lot of people don't understand that. And I don't fault them because the internet, you get all these ads of people saying, "Hey, you want to make $10,000 in 30 days? Here's this what you do." And it's like, get out of
Hmm.
here. That's not possible unless
No.
you're, running a business that you've been working on already. So the work has to be done up front in order to reap those outstanding benefits. But
Hmm.
there's always going to be something, and I just know what I've been doing, it has to increase if I want to reach whatever goals I'm trying to reach. I do want to put up a savings account. Well, I started a savings account for our daughter, and I want her to be able, if she wants to go to school, the money will be there for her to go to school. And like I said, I just want to retire by 40. I've had a plan since 2016, and I'm continuing to work it. Like there was
Hmm.
conversations with my fiance now. She
Hmm.
asked me before, I think halfway through, because we've been together 6 years, and at year 3, she was getting antsy, like, so Jen just got married. She's like, Christy just got engaged, and I'm taking all her hints, and I'm like, we came in dating for marriage. I know I'm gonna marry you. It's just a matter of let me do this, and then
Hmm.
because as a man, I feel like if you're not financially stable, what can you really offer a woman? Because I don't care how tall, how handsome, how funny, how smart you are. If
Hmm.
she's not secure, it's not much really she can do after a long period of time. So I was able to focus on that, and that's where I went and proposed about a month ago now, and she was caught completely off guard because I was able to do it. When swiped the credit card, paid that off before the month, then got her ring, and now we're working towards saving for a down payment on a house too. So
Nice.
it's a lot going on. I'm sorry if I'm all over the place, but I'm thinking
No.
about it now. It's a whole lot. We got a whole lot going on right now.
Did you ever imagine when you're paying off your debt, like when you sat down and you looked at your numbers for the first time and you realized what position you in? Like, did you ever like realize where you'd be? Like, did you ever see it? Like, that's where I'm gonna be.
No, I thought about it, and I
Mm-hmm.
knew it was possible because other people had done it. Like I said, I was a hardcore Dave Ramsey fan, so I would always listen to the
That three
debt-free
screens.
streams.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, they did it. They did it. I know I can do it. But looking at my situation right where I was at the time, I'm like, I don't know when it's going to happen. I know it's going to happen if I continue to do what I'm doing. And that's where the channel name comes from, is this Q makes it happen. So everything I try my hand at, no matter how long it takes, whatever the timeline is, I'm going to make it happen. And if I don't, then it just is what it is. As long as I tried, that's all I could ask for.
Absolutely. These comments are jumping all over the place. Hold on one second. Let me see. Okay. Oh, we did that one already. I'm sorry. Oh, here it is. Kay. Yeah, you're going to crush that mortgage. Oh, thank you. From your mouth, I'm like, oh man, I can't wait. I can't be like in debt. The mortgage is the only debt we have, and we use our credit cards for our expenses, but then we pay them off at the end of the month. So, and it's always stuff that's budgeted. So the only bill I have is this mortgage, and I'm just like, I need to pay this thing off as fast as possible. Monica,
get those points.
You know it. You know it. Oh my gosh. I wanted to do a whole show on just like how to use credit cards for you, but it's such a touchy subject. So many people are in credit card debt. And I also just did a video last week about how to reduce your impulse buying, like tips to stop it. And the comments that I got, that's an issue. So credit card debt and impulse shopping are an issue. So I really want to touch on like how you can make credit cards work for you, but it's like I feel like it's like walking a tightrope. You know what I mean? Like here I am talking about, like, I want to encourage you to be debt free, and then at the same time I'm like, man, those points are on play. I'm like, someone's gonna be like
you can't control that. I've dealt with a little bit of backlash on my channel before, but I said what I really felt. And at the end of the day, we're all at different stages.
Yes.
And if it's you documenting your channel, how Debbie saves, you're just saying what you're doing. And if they take it however they take it, then it is what it is. But it's not about you. I mean, at the end of the day, people are going to project whatever, but it's more of an internal thing on their end than it is you.
Do you find, I know I didn't ask you this before, but you look just like I am. I'm like, I could talk to you all day. Do you find like how like do you ever feel like your channel is benefiting you so much because you're helping people? Like, do you get any kind of feedback that kind of takes, and it's kind of like, wow, like I helped you, like I helped somebody?
It does. It's extremely gratifying, and I didn't realize it would be that way out the gate. Like I said, at first I was just doing it for me. I would make these random videos and I would just say what I did, how I did it, and that was it. It was no editing. I wasn't talking to anybody. I was just putting it out there, and then I would go back and then look at it because it was really for me as an accountability piece. And then over time, of course, people would gravitate towards it. And I found out, of course, you can make money from YouTube, but over time, that's when I started. Once I got the good feedback and I realized it was helping people, I was like, okay, I gotta go even harder on this, because I've gotten comments before that legit made me tear up, and emails and everything, and that's more fulfilling than anything, because that's really what it's turned into now. It's more of a mission of helping people progress financially. So it's bigger than it's way bigger than me now.
Yep. I was talking about it a few weeks ago, but I got this DM on IG, and she was saying that how, like, because she took the tips that I did about how to lower her groceries, and because groceries are like such a huge expense for some people, you know, by taking my tip, she was able to accumulate enough money in her savings account, and she paid off the first credit card debt she had ever paid off in her life. I was a mess. Like I went down. I'm like, oh. My husband's working. I have my phone. I'm like, honey, look. And he's like, what happened? What happened? I was just like, no, it's all good. Like, it just took me by surprise. I'm like, wow, like someone that never paid off a credit because of, something I put out. It's like you said, it's bigger than you. It really is bigger than you. So
that's what it's about.
And your channel is like, like your channel, your content is fantastic. I really enjoy every one of your videos. I'm like so glad I found it.
You're gonna make a black man blush. You're gonna make a black man blush over here.
Barbara Walters, like so cute. You're like, no. I could talk to you all day. Oh my gosh. Okay, let me see. Oh, Jessica, she's wishing me happy birthday. Thank you. You're so sweet. Granny Prepper. That's a great interest drop, Debbie. Thank you. I just can't wait. That'll be my video where I'm really gonna lose it when I pay off that mortgage. Tony Ann. Love you, Q. Parker is beautiful. God bless. Oh, how sweet is that?
Thank you, Tony. She would have been here if she wasn't acting up. I had to give her to her mom. She's getting fussy with Dad.
Goodness, no, please enjoy. Honestly, like my little one is 6. I was telling you, and I just grab onto her sometimes. I'm like, don't grow up. Here I go. Oh, Granny Pepper. Neither of my sons went to college, and they have 6-figure jobs. Granny Pepper is people should really listen to her. Her comments are just amazing. Let me see. You have a great plan, and it's good that you let her know what goes through your mind. Monica. Yeah, absolutely. Here we go. Granny Pepper, whenever I bring up credit cards, she always has something to say. I'm like, you guys are going to do that show. I've been wanting to do it so bad. I'm itching for it. Just like this one. This was a topic I wanted to do for Granny Pepper. Yes, the points. I'm like, okay. Let's see. Angel, we're all unique in our own journey. Great point there. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, Granny Pepper's talking about your coin jar.
Never too far away. Never too far away. This is all 2021.
I gotta get one with that counter on this. I meant to order one because I want to do that. Yeah. I have this big jar that has all my loot. I'm like, I have to dump it in there and see what I have.
That's where we are for 2021.
That's awesome. I did a video about recently about how you were investing in stocks in a company, and the research that you did for that stock, instead of just looking at like how the company does, like you really did your research about it. And I was really taken back. That's when really you are so smart, the way that you like actually look at everything. You know what I mean? It's just being like, oh, this company does well, I'm gonna invest in it.
Yeah, that's what it takes. And in order, like I said, to maximize my growth and my return, like I want to always get the best bang for my buck, especially now with potential hyperinflation on the way. I want to make sure my dollar stretches as far as it possibly can. And it's one thing to invest in something based off what someone says, but you always have to do your own due diligence. That's what because you never know what type of motives someone may have. Like I question everything. It's ridiculous. It could be Warren Buffett telling me something about investing. I'm still going to question it. I'm a contrarian by nature, and then I'll figure out if it's right or not.
No, definitely. I don't know anything about the stock market, anything like that. So we have 529 plans for the kids, and we have IRAs for my husband and I, which I was so happy we did our maximum contribution in January. We hit for 2020, so we're focusing on 2021. But other than that, like I have our investment bank like making the decisions for us. We projected when we want to retire, and they base it based off of that because I don't want to take a risk and be, you know what I mean? So in that aspect, I didn't. But when I saw your video about how you're taking the change and this is what you're doing with it, I was like, so motivating that you look at everything that you're going to in so that you know exactly how it's going to, you know, the more knowledge you have, like the decision you can make for your money.
And it's just about being, like I said, resourceful is one thing. And then being proactive. Like all that money I find is just free money wherever I go and passing. If I see, like I found 11 cents on the ground today, I picked it up, added it to my jar. It didn't take me no effort. I had to stop at the gas station and get gas, right? So as soon as I got out of my car, right at the gas pump, if you look down on the ground, that's where the 11 cents were. People get out of the car, change falls out their pocket. They're not going to pick it up because at the end of the day, people don't really value change like that. I did a video on that, and people will walk past a penny. I won't. I'll pick it up every time. If I see a penny on the ground, those pennies turn into dollars, and you can't get to any dollar amount without a penny.
Yep.
$99.99 is just that. You can't get $100 unless you have that penny.
The first time my husband went out to lunch together at work, we went to a diner and he paid, and then as we're going out, he changed and he threw it on the floor, and I was like, you know, like something came out of me. I was like, "What are you doing? Like, what did you just do?" And he's like, "Oh, they're just pennies." I'm like that's money. That's money that adds up. You know?
That's the quote right there. Just a penny.
Yes,
makes
that's
my
what I'm saying,
makes my blood boil a little bit.
He never did it again. I was like, that's money. Like, you're throwing away money. Like, how many times do you do that? And he's like, well, I don't know. They're just pennies. I was just like, I still married him though.
Yeah. So all those just the pennies over the last 4 years, I found over $500 in just a penny. And this year I started investing it. So those just the pennies helped me pay off my debt too.
Nice. That's great. So now, so you have a new video recently, which by the way, I'm going to link Hugh's channel down below. If you guys are familiar with him, check him out. As you can tell, his content is even, you know, he's such a nice guy and his content is just as great as he is. So now you did a video recently about your 401k and you were going the contributions, you were going up and down when you were paying off your debt. So wondering, like, other than a 401k, like what else are you paying money? And of course, like the change in that company. Like, are you doing anything?
So that's a really great question. I have a Roth IRA. That's what I opened that before while I was building my emergency fund, and with my income level, it was just the most sound thing. So I have a Roth IRA. I maxed it out for 2020, and I'm 1,800 shy of maxing out 2021, and I'm gonna max that out every year that I can. That makes sense moving forward, but that's yielded me some great returns. And my 401k from my previous employer, that's still intact. Like, I can't contribute to it because I'm not with that employer no more. The only thing I can do is roll it over or cash it out. Those are my only two options. But while I figure out what to do with that money, it's just continuously growing for me, and I'm just leaving it in place for now.
Nice. Let me just look at the comments real quick. Tony, I bought that same coin jar. My inspiration was cute. I know, I'm gonna get one too. I have to see how much I have, like a flower vase, and I'm constantly putting money in there just to see. I have to check it out, and it'll be great motivating for my kids too, because I'm getting them to try to save also. Tell them what money is in the jar.
$8. Yeah, $8.46 currently. All tax free, all free to me, and that'll all be invested at the end of the year.
Yeah. Jessica, she used to have a jar like that one. It's really smart. Let's see, Monica. I need that coin jar. You should leave a link on your channel, right? To make money off of this jar. I should. I don't spend change. Even if the cashier asks me for it, I say I don't have any. I figured that rather than to save the change, I'm not giving her and the one give from me. Yeah. Let's see here. Oh, she has a video also on called "It's Just a Penny." Yeah,
I have to check that out.
I was shocked when I saw my husband do that, and he's a really smart guy too, especially with money. He's the one that got me into budgeting. So when I saw him do that, I was like, what? Angel, my mom and I pick up change when we ground. Yeah, I do too. I knew someone threw pennies on the street too. God, I'm telling you, when he sees the playback, he's gonna be like, "Debbie, really? You had to talk about it?" I'm like, I never saw in my life anyone do that before. Well, Q, thank you so much for being on. I know that by you being on and sharing a story, it's gonna motivate someone to get started and be where you are now.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me. And like I said, I was excited. I apologize again for having to push it back, but
No, it's
Princess
fine.
Park was she's being a
Hey,
diva, but
hey, you're
we
a
got
father,
it.
and that happens.
We made it happen, and this was exciting. Like I hope people got stuff out of this. And like I said, just based on my circumstances, being resourceful and being proactive, you can literally do anything. I started in 2016, and that's the thing. It's gonna take some time. It's gonna
Mm-hmm.
take some time. So you may want to get to where you want to get to like tomorrow or like yesterday, but as long as you stay consistent, you can't lose. There was some months where I could only put $35 towards my debt. There were some months where I could only afford to put $50 to my debt, but every time I would do that, I would just figure out what can I do next and just put one foot in front of the other. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, yeah. And then, did you ever like feel like now you're like on autopilot? Like once you started being Google as you can possibly be and throwing everything at it, didn't you at one point like you're kind of like on autopilot with every single paycheck you got?
Yeah, that's
Mm-hmm.
exactly how I felt. And then I started making a game of it. Once I did my budget and I saw what I had left over, it's like, okay, if this all I have, now I gotta figure out, okay, if I wanna, I would just challenge myself. I would set the bar a smidge higher than what I was able to do.
Mm-hmm.
And by you not want to let yourself down, you will figure out how to do something. And it's weird how it works.
Mm-hmm.
You almost got to set like slightly unrealistic goals on yourself and see if you can do it. If you don't do it, it's okay. But if you can, then it's like, wow, you'll blow your mind.
Yeah. Sometimes I really feel like budgeting, like before you even get started with it, like you really have to get your mind right as to money. I really feel like once you get your intentions right and you get your mind right, before you even look at the numbers, you're already like ahead of the game. You're setting yourself up to succeed. You know.
Yeah. This thing
Mm.
causes a transformation. You almost turn into a person that you can't recognize. Like me, I was always good with numbers, but I was never the finance freak that I am now. Like I can't shut up about finance, and people are just like, all right, people in my real life, of course, my online friends and family, they get it, but majority of people don't operate this way around finances, and it's unfortunate. Like most people, oh, I can afford the payment, or I think debt is just something I keep as long as I live. They got to change that. That mindset has to change.
The mindset of I'm always gonna have debt. That's what I hear constantly, like at my job and with my friends. Like I'm always gonna have that. I know attorneys who make so much money. Like I mean, they can buy two of my homes if they wanted to. Like that. And they're like, I still have student loan debt. I'm always gonna have that. And I'm just like, oh my god, you're in the profession you want to do. Like you're killing it with your salary. Like there's something that's missing. And I tell them that. I'm not like I have my channel to vent to,
Yeah,
to help people. I'm gonna be preaching to my coworkers, but it's the mentality. There is a mentality out there that you're always gonna have student loan debt. You're gonna have that. Like that is just a part of life. It's like no, and it's so free. It's so freeing. So that's why I couldn't wait to have you to talk about it because I'm just like, I just want to give everyone that little bit of a push that they need to get started.
yeah. Quarter two is underway, and times have been definitely tough. I'll put that out there. Mentally, financially, a lot of people are either unemployed, furloughed, or just lost their jobs altogether.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that we're in what we're in, like it weighs on you. I went through a little something a few months back where I didn't know where it came from, and then of course it's just quarantine fatigue, and that plays a part too. So as far as staying focused on such a lengthy journey revolving around finance, give yourself grace. That's another thing. Like celebrate your small victories. If you hit a milestone, make sure that you do something nice for yourself and keep it moving. If you fall off or if you go over your budget one month, that's okay. Like I did that a couple times, and all you gotta do is get back up and keep moving forward. Just don't stop completely, because you'll never get anything done if you do that.
Yeah. Couldn't have said it better. That's fantastic. That's exactly right. Hold on one second. And people are just like, hold on. Monica, she's heading over now.
I'll see you there.
Yeah, right. Monica says, most people say, I don't have enough to even budget. It doesn't even make sense. That's a good point. That's a good point. If you have bills and you have money coming in, or you don't and you need money coming in, that's called a budget. That's
Budget
the
that.
beginning of a budget. Absolutely. Oh, Q, it's been so great to have you on. This is gonna be good, but it's even better than I ever expected. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you. Thank you. This was a blast. And anytime you want to do it again, just let me know.
Oh, I would love that. Absolutely. Thanks
All
for
right.
watching live, and anyone that's watching on the replay, thanks so much. And if you have any comments or questions for Q, I'll leave the link down below for his channel, or you can leave a comment down below as well. Thank you guys so much for watching. Q.
Later, guys.
Bye.